Welcome back, YouTube. It's ya boy! God, I hate people who do that. Does anybody do that, like, legitimately? Does anybody actually mean that when they say that? Don't answer that. True enough, warp car. Whoops, wrong thing. I need this. So, this is going to be a short episode because we're going to try to get this done before I have to go to the dentist. The dentist takes priority, obviously, if this does drag, but I think we'll be able to push through this in time. We've got about an hour, so.
Empersa, the homeworld of the Founders, is under attack by the Hurk. This is our darkest hour. If Empersa falls, the Dominion will come to an end. I'm asking you to join in the defense efforts as soon as you can. A task force will assemble at my fleet's location in the Gamma Quadrant and warp to Empersa from there. Remember, if we fall, the Alpha Quadrant is next. It's time to make a stand. I hope you'll join in the fight.
This is what gave the heel rock? That's funny. Also, I need to give a negative to gameplay really quick. Don't worry, this won't be long. Just going to give a negative to gameplay and move on. Okay, moving on. Oh, I'm a little off. I need to go this way a bit.
Previously on Star Trek
We don't need this.
I arrived here ahead of you, and I've already engaged the Hurk near the planet. You've made your point, Garak. Deactivate the Hurk lure device you placed on the homeworld before this gets out of hand.
Agreed. Bring to an end to this.
I'm afraid that's the problem, Ambassador. I deactivated it several minutes ago.
Excuse me?
Then why are the Hurks still attacking? Don't play games with me here, Garak. I'm warning you.
Perhaps they're still attacking due to a deep hatred of your people. After all, the Founders are directly responsible for their state of mind, body, and soul. I can't say I blame them for...
Enough! Both of you. We don't have time for this. There's bigger problems to deal with here, starting with that swarm of Hurk vessels nearby.
I mean, Cap makes a good point.
Agreed. My fleet is already engaged near the planet, but Hurk reinforcements keep arriving. Try to punch through the swarms so we can join up.
Well, let's kill a whole lot of
May
Hurk.
be needing your solution to this problem soon, Doctor.
Yes, since yours failed in a spectacular fashion.
Has it? Some might argue it succeeded beyond expectations.
But yes, there was a really big wait for this, and then all we got was this one episode. It's a good episode, but I mean, damn. No, it doesn't get a negative for that, though. As we've talked about before, gaps in content don't really qualify for review purposes. And thank goodness for that, because otherwise, every MMO out there would just get a bucket of additional negatives. The longer the MMO's been out, the more negatives it would get. I mean, you remember the drought between Wrath and Kata? Jesus.
This is the Chimera. We're here to help.
Hey, Nog.
CSS Steadfast stands ready to assist you as well.
Whoop.
My ship won't last much longer. We need to deal with the swarm attacking it immediately.
Working on it. Let me summon some Swarm here. Yeah, FF14 only had the 2 gaps in content that I'm aware of. One of which was relatively small, and the other which was the COVID gap. Yeah, there's been some pretty big gaps in content in WoW's history. But 2 always stick out in my mind. Pandaria to Warlords, and Wrath to Kata, both of which were over a year. I think. I shouldn't say that. Were really, really long, regardless of how long they actually were. I could look it up. People have kept track of those over the years. And yeah, if we give negatives for games that are delayed, I mean, StarCraft 2 is going to get some, FF7R1, FF15 would get negatives. Yeah, let's leave that off the table. That's adding a layer of ugh to the review process. Yeah, the Warlords to Legion gap was real. Ironically, I didn't mind that one as much, but I think it's because I was playing FF14 at the time. Yeah, and then Legion came out and it was the best thing since sliced bread. I'm actually really curious if Legion or Pandaria is going to score higher when we get there. Because I'm not sure. Both of them have some high highs and both of them have some low lows, so we'll see. Odo?
Well done. The ship's taken heavy damage, but she'll survive.
Oh, we've bought ourselves some time. Let's hope it's enough. Julian, is your plan ready? It may be our best hope to end things now.
It's as ready as possible, Captain. The challenge of frontier medicine, I'm afraid, is that there is never enough time. I've created a program that will enable the Hurk to synthesize the compound they need to come to their senses. I've also put together a core sample of the compound for them to utilize in mass production. That is the easy part.
And the hard part? What do you need to make this happen?
From what we've learned about the Hurk, the best way to make this happen will be to enter the data into one of their core computer systems. It'll need to be a command-level system with fleet-wide override authority. Systems of that caliber are only found on Hurk dreadnoughts.
Great.
There's a Hurk dreadnought heading toward the planet as we speak. It's slow, so we should be able to intercept it. I recommend we engage that ship and disable it, if possible. We'll need to get a team on board to carry out Julian's plan.
Agreed. Let's make it happen. They have a unique form of malnutrition that doesn't kill them, just makes them lose their ability to think. It's also why they eat everything they encounter. Oh wow, 13 months. That's actually less than I thought it was. Kinda, yeah, Trihexia. Especially in Oblivion, for example. It's pretty messed up when you think about it. Oh, wow.
We did it. The dreadnought's disabled. That ship is still crawling with Hurk, though. Make sure your away teams are ready for a fight.
I'll send some of my best. Dukan Rex will lead a Jem'Hadar away team, while Loris will assist Dr. Bashir.
Right. Let's get the away teams on that dreadnought before it calls for backup.
Loris and I have all we need. We're ready to beam over when you are.
I was actually about to ask what the Wrath to Kata gap was. 10 months, jeez. That felt a lot longer than 10 months. I mean, I guess 10 months is a pretty big gap. Almost as big a gap as the gap between Savacom's awesomeness and how pathetic I am. Like, I can't even describe that gap in English language. I'm going to have to invent a new language called Gaponium just to describe this gap. Thank you, Savacom. I will put that towards 4 Heroes of Light for some reason. Yeah, what's the gap in content in Shadowlands? I don't think it's going to be that long, also since Dragonflight hasn't come out yet, but what's the projected gap? I guess is a better way to phrase it. Has there ever been a WoW expansion that focused on the old gods? Well, we have Vanilla, BC, Wrath, Kata, Pandaria. I'm being facetious, but yes.
We'll need to find their central computer core. Once we're there, I'll begin the override process that will allow us to transmit our data on the cure. When that's done, we can instruct each ship in their fleet to replicate the cure and distribute it to every Herc on board. Of course, we need to reach the command center in one piece to do so.
So you might wonder why I
Enemy life signs ahead.
had
Get ready
home.
to fight. Proceed with caution. I'm reading numerous hazards in the area. This section of the ship has taken heavy damage.
So you're probably wondering why I just had home in my quest log. In fact, anybody paying attention has noticed I've had home in my quest log this entire playthrough. It's because me and Pax have a policy of keeping home at certain stages of the quest, so we can hop in and do endeavors periodically. Because there's several Herc-related endeavors, and the best place for pretty much all of them is this very quest. So we usually just leave home unfinished, ready to go, so we can pop in whenever we need to. I'm gonna have to redo that after this. Like, kill Herc attendants, what is it, 120 Herc attendants? Yeah, you can usually do that before you finish the first phase of this particular section we're doing right here. Because there's just that many attendants here. It's also effectively the only really good place to do that. Good thing I got all these new AoEs of death. This is going quicker than it usually is. I love these abilities, by the way. Lunar Ryzian things. I was actually kind of hoping I would have a Herc thing right now, but no, I have to do 3 Lucari TFOs on Advanced, so I'm just not doing that. That's just a waste of my time. Disruptor damage space, I don't even have any Disruptor weapons, and defeat Tholian's ground, that's pretty easy. I could probably get that done in like 5 minutes. Might do that one. Uh-oh. Pay attention, Mark. Open a portal to the sun. So, you remember how I mentioned a bit ago how they start to lean into the whole let's do tons and tons and tons of trash mobs to really emphasize things? Well, this is probably the mission that does that more than anything else. We're not even done. 10 months, wow. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I approve of FF14's approach to content release. The expansions are slightly less meaty, but they're a little bit more, the expansion patches are a little bit more polished, and there's less gaps in between them. 4 months between patches, as opposed to whatever. Also, and I don't just think that from the player perspective. In my opinion, if you work on a schedule, you tend to work better, just in general. No, Huthor. Let's teleport my dead party member to me. There we go. You know, what's funny is I got all these AoEs at the perfect time. Right before I fight the Herc. You can res people. The way it works... So we were just talking about resing mechanics in the previous one. So everybody has access to that ability. It's called cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Resuscitation. I can talk. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You walk up, you use it. It's got a nice big delay thing, and it gets them up at low health, and they're stunned for 3 seconds. But anybody can do it, including NPCs. So boffs can do this as well as players. Now, the problem with that is it's pretty easy to die while doing that unless you're careful or have someone else covering for you. But on the plus side, this game's ground combat is mostly just a fun bag as opposed to anything actually engaging, So, yeah, no, generally speaking, it's pretty easy to res people, especially since you can just warp them to you if you've lost your people that need to be resed. You can also call to be resed, which means the AI immediately prioritizes resing you over whatever the hell they're actually doing. That's... I'm not sure what I think of that, Uthor. I think I'd have to know more about it to really make a judgment call there. It sounds almost like they're trying to pull a little bit of the Diablo 3 grift concept in. Just a little, right? Just a small amount. Yep, an entire batch of Hurk just got murdered by that earthquake. Good lord. Blow up the exocomms for this area. I'm honestly surprised I haven't died yet. There's actually a Hurkquake. Hurkquake. Let's say that right. Oh my god, quit it. No, I like the idea that I'm summoning earthquakes on board an alien ship. That's the best part right there. Whoop, 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 whoop. There we go. Speaking of almost dying. Yes, I will. For probably about 5 minutes, and then I'll throw 3 negatives at it, and then I'll move on, Dr. Winter. Any questions? Bashir?
Excellent work. It's time for Loris and I to finish this. Keep your weapons handy, however. We're breaking into a secure computer system here. The Hurk are bound to take offense. Keep them busy while we do our work, or this will be a wasted trip.
Okay. Well, let's open a portal to the sun. I feel like you can make fun of my character. Like picture there's an admiral. Says, "Sir, we've just got the latest strategic documents from Fleet Admiral Merlin." It's like, all right, yes, please, let me see them. And it's this big, thick folder, and he opens it, and there's just one little, like...
This one goes here! That one goes there!
Jesus, Loris.
I was saving time by inverting the feed now instead of later.
And just like a little note card falls out, and all it says is Portal to the Sun. Yeah, we need to talk to Dax about her husband's flirting with the Vorta. I was about to say with the enemy, and I'm like, wait, that doesn't apply anymore.
I thought you were supposed to be Starfleet's best and brightest.
Loris.
I wouldn't even be in Starfleet anymore if it weren't for this Hurk nonsense.
Have you noticed that they haven't mentioned his genetic engineering at all, by the way? I only bring it up because if you remember, Alexander Siddig never liked that plot twist and always played against it because of how much he disliked it. I find myself wondering if not mentioning it was actually a condition of him coming back.
We're running out of time, Doctor!
Oh, cool, Uthor.
Perhaps you know a faster way to translate Hurk language and reverse engineer their technology.
Of course I did, Starscream. I'm not sure what we're going to do about the run yet, because people have already put money towards it. And, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we had to cancel a run because the game got canceled. It is one of the hazards. We'll see. No, yeah, I get why you mentioned that, Uthor. Like, we start to get into those technicality things, right? What qualifies as content? What qualifies as a content patch, etc., etc. And yeah, that's fair, Blade Travol. I don't want to emphasize or, you know, over-advertise the fact that I'm not human, right? So he doesn't want to advertise the fact that he's genetically engineered. That just, there's a logic to that. It may be a part of who you are, but, you know, not everyone needs to know that. Hello, Kay. You know, I like this quest, but it's funny how dull this is, really. Wave after wave after wave after wave after wave of trash.
Almost ready here. The system needs the physical samples of the cure for final analysis and processing. Shall I proceed?
Yes.
Are you insane, Weyoun? That was our last hope.
How is this possible? You were in prison!
I was liberated by those who still served the true Founders. Not everyone is a traitor to the Dominion, after all.
There is only one traitor here, Weyoun. It's time you paid the price for your treachery.
Pathetic. You can't even kill someone properly. Allow me to instruct you. You! Jem'Hadar! Make yourself useful! Kill them! Giving you an order! Open fire! Kill them, now!
I think not.
He's gone.
He shot him in the face. Of course he's dead.
Bashir to command. Everyone, we have a problem.
I also vaguely like the fact that the final villain here is not actually the female changeling, it's Weyoun. Not that I think that he's a more villainous person or more relevant, just there's something more personal about it, you know? I don't know how to better... I guess it's like beating the Emperor and then taking down Vader, you know? One of those is a little bit more directly connected to the main characters. And Weyoun is also petty, though.
That Hurk fleet is about to attack our position. We need to give the Doctor the time he needs to transmit data on the cure.
Well, we who are about to die salute you. I wouldn't mind if they brought back a good Weyoun. I should say another good Weyoun. Like 6, I think it was. Damn it, target that thing. Fair, Terran. Oh, man. I remember when Temple of the Jade Serpent was really rough, like when it was brand new. We were just starting heroics. Doing a hard mode of that would be fun. I mean, it's just such an honor serving for a security officer like you. Oh my goodness. Okay, hang on. I mean, I would openly admit the only reason I would bring Wayne back is because I want more Jeffrey Combs. I would be like, if I was in charge of STO, I would say, yeah, we wanted to work with him again. So we brought back, you know, Weyoun to be a good guy this time and be, like, the representative for Odo because we no longer have Rene Auberjonois. And that's how you keep Odo relevant in STO.
Well, you're in quite a fix there, Odo.
Brilliant observation, Quark. What do you want?
Forgive my brother, Odo. We're here to help.
The Ferengi cavalry? I thought I'd seen everything.
Oh, the best is yet to come, Odo. Say hello to my dangerous friends.
Well, Quark, we're waiting.
Rom, where are they?
Lose something? Like your nerve, perhaps?
Long ago, Takuvma, the Unforgettable, lit the beacon of Kahless to restore glory to the Empire. Today, a new torchbearer, Worf, son of Moog, does the same. United, we now go to fight the enemy of our ancestors. Today, we will fight the Hurk. I now hold the weapon they fear most. The Sword of Kahless has been returned to us. Join me now in honorable combat. Show the Hurk what it truly means to be Klingon. For Kahless, for the Empire, Qapla'!
I like to think that Martok was literally beating heads to try and get as many Klingons as possible to join him on this expedition. Literally. Not like verbally. Not like, you should join us. No. He'd be like, you should join us. And the Klingon would be like, no. And then, boom, just right in the face. Let me try that again. You're going to join us to fight the Hurk. And yes, Rom is currently still the Grand Nagus. He has yet to be usurped. He's been doing pretty good from what we understand. Like, we get tidbits of how well his policies have been taken. They just clunk right in the face. Get Klingon board meetings. All right. We're doing well. Qapla'! And then you all go home. And someone says, that could have been an email. Yeah, where is Jimpock, anyway? Huh. I sure hope that has nothing to do with the Klingon Civil War story arc, which is right after this. Ugh. Sorry. I really hope it's not as bad as I remember. It literally made me quit STO, and you know how much I love this game. That's all I can say about how much I hate the next story arc. It made me quit a game I love. For like 2 years. You got it, Lolamas. Thank you for making me dab. I do always appreciate your presence and participation. Give me a moment. Just let me go ahead and chop that down for the Dragon Age block. Done. You know a game I would like to review from the 90s? Whoever asked that. I can't remember who asked that right now. Neverwinter Nights. I know that actually came out in like 2001, but it counts, damn it. It counts. I think it would review better than a lot of the old MMOs, old PC RPGs. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I do think it would review better than people would think it would.
The arrival of the Klingons has given us more time in space, but the situation on the surface is dire. Hurk's forces are breaking the Jem'Hadar defense lines. We need to do what we can to help. I'm beaming directly to the Great Link to aid my people.
Agreed.
time has come. The Hurk mean to ravage everything in their path. We will not allow it. We will stand against them, as Kalis once stood, defiant and proud. Fight well, and if need be, die well. Kapla!
So should we do the optional objectives for this part? Just was running the wrong shields. There we go. Yep, sorry, Victor is live. Oh, Jesus, Dr. Winter. I'm not even sure I could get those running. Never mind, streamable. Well, alright. It's time to take the honorable path forwards. Yes, yes. I do have about 30 minutes, give or take. Gonna be hurriedly changing outfits as soon as we finish this. Oh, I should jot down some notes here. Start changing now. Yeah, well, let me just start. No,
Whom do we seek? Kalis! How do we find him? Together! Kalis, give us light to see forever! Will he hide from us always? Never!
It's worse than we thought. Most of the Jem'Hadar lines have been broken. Even the Great Link is in danger. I'm going to coordinate our defenses at the Link. Meet me there.
Already at my place.
We'll meet you there as soon as we can. And Odo, be careful.
Nah, I shouldn't joke.
The Jem'Hadar have come to our aid. Now, we will return the favor.
Hey, yeah, that's actually a pretty honorable thing to do. Holy crap. So you can just run through this. You don't have to do any of these fights on the way down. We're going to, because we're honorable sorts. I hate to say this, you know how you can always tell the vibes of what's to come in game development? Especially if you've been studying game development for a while. Like, we could see the... Sorry, Huthor. We could see how much the narrative was starting to fall apart in BFA, because the last part of Legion started to fall apart. You know, stuff like that. Well, honestly, a lot of what's to come in the dumb story arc that I keep talking up, or down, I suppose. You can see the bones of it here. The Gamma Quadrant arc has been fantastic, but this quest...
You fight well. Good. There are many hurt between us and a Great Link. We go there now to reclaim our lives, for we are already dead.
Like, you could see how this honestly just feels rushed. And again, especially on the gameplay side. Let's really examine
won't last long out in the open like this.
What the gameplay has been. Why are you in that outfit?
Odo to Kira. We're fortifying our position near the Great Link.
Understood. We're on our way.
Let's really examine this mission from a pure gameplay perspective. Kill a bunch of Hurk ships, then kill a just enormous amount of Hurk troops, then stand and hold the line against a huge amount of Hurk troops for several minutes, then kill a bunch of Hurk ships for several minutes, then charge through a huge amount of Hurk troops, and spoilers, the last bit of the mission is going to be holding the line against a huge amount of Hurk soldiers. That's it. That's the gameplay. It's banal, even by STO's standards.
I must confess my surprise at seeing you here, on this, the homeworld of the gods. Truly, we are living in strange times. You'll forgive my boldness, but there are still Founders under attack nearby. Can I count on you to aid them and destroy the wretched creatures who would do them harm?
And yeah, presentation and narrative framework can make this work, but I don't think it does. The only thing that salvages this quest, in my opinion, is the fact that an enormous amount of it is optional. Although even that's kind of strange and feels unintentional.
I think we're too late. This changeling's losing morphogenic matrix stability. There are more friendly life signs nearby. We should do what we can for them.
Oh, one dead changeling.
I don't know you, Solid, but I thank you for your service.
You're welcome, X-hole. Sorry. Getting a lot of Latinum out here. I'm up to 24,000 now.
Is this some sort of solid invasion?
Ugh. Really? I have a Doff equipped that makes it so that when I kill ground troops, I gain 1 Latinum. I mostly have it equipped for fun and just in case I ever need Latinum. Which I don't often, but...
Your timing is fortuitous. Solid.
You're welcome. So yeah, we could have just run past all of that and gone down to the Great Link down here. And, left all those people to die.
You made it. Good. We're going to need all the help we can get here. It looks like the Herc are focusing their attacks on the Link. I've called for reinforcements, but most of our lines have been overrun. We're going to make a stand here and hope the Doctor's plan is successful. If not, if we fail, this may be the day the Dominion dies.
Unfortunately for you, Odo, the Dominion already died. The question is what's going to become of the new Dominion. And I mean that. Kira White Noise was correct,
Please tell me you have more Jem'Hadar coming to help.
earlier. With the death of the female changeling, that was it.
The call's been sent, but they may not arrive in time.
We'll do what we can with what we have, then.
We always do.
As always, until the end.
I'm not sure I like the way you said that, Odo.
Nerys, if we don't make it...
No, now is not the time for this discussion.
Look around. There may not be a better time.
You're right. And I understand what you did.
You do? Then you know how sorry I am for everything.
Yes. And I forgive you, Odo.
I know. I feel the same.
This is a lot easier than it usually is. I think these new AoEs are really doing their job. My goodness. Yeah, no, the pacing is off. The directing of the actors is just off. I don't think I'm going to be too harsh on this mission, but it is a noticeable step down in quality. From the previous few missions. It's true, I do, Blade Travol. I've got a lot of Fire and Forget, and then I have my Iconian Battle Staff. By the way, my opinion, this wave of death should have probably ended when they were done talking. This is just padding at this point. We get it. Yeah, it was also a letdown after the wait. I remember being rather disappointed by this. Like, wait, that's it? Still, I do want to take a moment and say thank you to Rene Bergenois and to, God, I can't think of his name. Nog. Because this is the end of that. Aaron Eisenberg, thank you.
Nerys, are you hurt?
It's just a scratch. I'm fine. We're losing ground here, Odo. Keep fighting.
We can't hold this position much longer.
That's Jem'Hadar, for we're about to die, Doctor. Are you ready?
Not without the Ketracel components needed for the cure.
Ketracel. Yes. Victory.
Wait! Stop!
Is life.
This is extremely cliche, but I don't mind at all. It also is very appropriate that Dukan Rex, of all individuals, is the one to make this sacrifice. It's pretty bad if even we're getting injured. I like how Odo and Kira just holding each other. Just nothing else, just holding each other. Wow, they must be really tall. I'm a giant, remember. Yeah, Dukan Rex.
It seems the battle is over, but how? What happened up there, Doctor?
Actually has a full arc across this whole season. It's pretty good.
I believe Dukan Rex realized that his own body contained the Ketracel material I needed to finalize the cure. He extracted what we needed at the cost of his life. Once the Hurk were able to synthesize the cure, they came to their senses and called for an immediate ceasefire. Their forces are withdrawing as we speak. It's over, Odo. I won't say we've won, but it's over.
And yeah, that is not the first war in this game that we have won by working around and bypassing the very conflict itself. So I'm in a little bit of a hurry, so let's just kind of push through this. I think I am, after some thought. I'm not going to be easy on this game just because I like it. I'm going to give a negative to story for falling flat. Because that mission falls flat, both gameplay and story-wise. That being said,
there was nothing I could do for him on the Herc Dreadnought. The Ketracel extraction process was too devastating. Odo, you treated him like a son when we first found him on DS9, and I'm truly sorry.
Me too, Ross. I really hope I'll be talking to you kind of like this the next time you hear me.
He didn't even have a name when he left us. I'll make sure the name he found is never forgotten. I remember his first days on the station. All he wanted to do was fight. Didn't matter who. When he left, I thought I'd never see him again. Or if I did, it'd be as enemies. The man I met years later still knew how to fight, but his reasons for doing so had changed dramatically. I'm proud to have known him. I wish I could have done more in the end. I suppose you're right. I believe Captain Kira was looking for you. She was at the Temple of the Prophets last I checked. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to pay my respects. We'll talk more later.
By the way, nice subtle touch. The uniform that Odo manifests changes over the course of this story arc. Just nice little detail. There are some good details in the story arc, and it probably is the best overall story arc, pound for pound, in STO. I'm not sure how they line up, like, in terms of numbers. We'll see.
And here we are, once again. It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
What's next for you, Captain?
Funny you should mention that. After we got back, Starfleet Command offered me a number of postings, even the center chair on one of those shiny new cruisers. Tempting. But I chose to join the command staff here on DS9. Bajor and the Celestial Temple mean a lot to me, and this station is a good place to keep them both safe.
It's also close to our mutual friend in the Gamma Quadrant.
Subtle, but you're not wrong. Odo and I have a lot to work out before we're back to where we were, but we've taken a few good steps in that direction. I think it'll work out. Eventually. He's a hard man to read sometimes.
Also true. Until next time, Cap.
It is good to see you once more. I was hoping we'd have a moment to speak on an important matter before your duties take you back to the stars.
What's on your mind, Eminence?
My thoughts often return to the Orb of Peace. It was no coincidence that it was found in the Gamma Quadrant, in the midst of two warring tribes. I believe it to be a message from the prophets, one of guidance in troubled times.
I will trust your expertise on these matters. All I see are some wormhole aliens.
Now that the conflict with the Herc has ended, I feel it's time to explore this omen more thoroughly. The recent vision experienced by Loris is truly remarkable. That the prophets would speak to Avorta. Again, this is no coincidence. Simply put, I believe the orb is meant to broker a lasting peace between the people of our quadrants and the Dominion.
I hope you're right, Eminence. In fact, hang on. I'm gonna go ask him really quick. Hang on. Let me go outside. Oi! Ben! Cisco! Oi! What's up with this? Huh? He says to stop being so dumb.
Hello again, my friend. It pleases me to see you. I have interesting news.
Does it involve the Herc?
Thankfully, no. Rather, it involves the Orb of Peace that you returned with Kaiopaka. It has spoken to me. I've been exploring the meaning of that experience with the Kai and Captain Kira. They are, after all, experts on such matters. While we all find it curious that an Orb of the Prophets would speak to Avorta, we also agree it would be foolish to ignore it.
What of your service to the Dominion?
With the blessings of Founder Odo, I have been transferred to this quadrant to continue my studies of the Orb and the Prophets. I shall also serve as Founder Odo's representative here. Diplomacy is my specialty, after all. I'm sure we'll be seeing one another again. May the blessings of the Founders and the Prophets be yours.
Be around, Loris.
Thank you for coming to visit. After all we've been through, it means a lot to have friends, even if it reminds me of the ones we miss. Speaking of reunions, I think General Martok is leading the charge against the Bloodwine at Quark's. I'm sure he'd want to congratulate you on another glorious victory. May the prophets watch over you.
You know, I'm sorry, I hate to keep talking about the bad, but you know what is a wonderful way to explain how awful the upcoming story arc is? Martok, I don't think, salvages it. And he's a big character in the upcoming story arc. Rom?
We'll be here at DS9 until my ship is repaired. Fortunately, I have exclusive rights to the holosim of the battle. The sales of that alone will cover the cost of repairs, and then some. Some days, it's good to be the Grand Nagus.
I can only imagine.
I don't like to think about how close to disaster we were, though. Fortunately, there were people like you out there to bring us all back from the brink. All those adventures. You've got quite a story to tell. That reminds me. Have you ever considered making a holo biography? I think your life story would be quite popular and profitable. I'll make you a very generous offer for the rights and cut you in on a share of the profits, say 25%?
No thanks.
Suit yourself. The offer still stands if you change your mind.
Nagus. Admiral
Oh, I'm
Lita.
so glad to see this come to an end. But not as glad as everyone back on Ferenginar. It's a celebration of Rule 35 like no one's ever seen before. I mean, peace may be good for business, but things are really getting out of hand.
What do you mean?
When word got out that the Gamma Quadrant was open for business, the new Latinum rush was on. Open borders and free trade policies. My husband was practically weeping with joy. Oh, poor Odo. He thought he had his hands full with Quark on DS9. Now, he's gonna have an entire quadrant full of Ferengi to deal with.
I'm sure he'll manage. By the way, for those of you who were there for the Hat in Time review, I like to think that any holo novel of me will be filled with, oh my god, Captain! And then we'll have to...
Welcome back. Seeing as this is a private party and I'm in an unusually generous mood, you'll be getting the VIP discount on your drinks tonight.
So they're not on the house.
Did you take a hit to the head in that fight? I'm in a good mood. Not insane. Half off. Take it or leave it.
Fair enough.
That's more like it. Don't take it personally. You could be Odo. His drinks, 50% markup.
Yeah, so about the Sword of Kahless.
Not much to tell, really. Lex saw the error of his ways and gave it back. Then I had Grilka let Martok and Worf know we'd recovered their precious relic. A quick handoff later, and the Klingons were off to war. Rom and I tagged along, mainly to see the look on Odo's face when I rode in with the cavalry. That was priceless. If I die tomorrow, I'll go to the Exchequer with a smile on my face.
And you didn't make a profit on the job.
Who do you think you're talking to? Nog? Unlike the Federation, the Klingons know the value of Latinum. I'm thinking of spending my cut on a smaller moon to orbit the one I already have. I might even name it Odo.
Living dangerously. Good luck, Quark.
Can I get you something?
Captain?
I am forever indebted to you. Without your efforts, I would walk the path of exile for the rest of my days. Now, I will help make amends for all that has happened during Zencast's terrible crusade.
Yeah, we probably need to get rid of the Autarch, too. Since he was all for the whole, kill everyone thing.
A hard-fought battle and a well-earned victory. And yet, we almost missed it. Our fleet would have never left the Empire if it weren't for the sword's return. Grilka tells me her former mate, Quark, had something to do with that. The sacred blade of Kahless, returned to the Empire by a Ferengi. Madness!
I mean, her current mate played a part as well.
Yes, it was Worf's idea to ignite the beacon of Kahless. A bold move, but it paid off. Only a coward could refuse such a call to arms.
Did you notice Dorn has no dialogue during this?
The legend of Kahless is stronger than ever. It would not surprise me if the High Council moved to create a new clone of the Emperor. There is great power in legend, after all.
Unfortunately, yes. As we'll find out, hopefully later today. Captain Nog?
We need to stop running into each other when the fate of the galaxy is on the line. I'd be fine with drinks here at Uncle's bar, or some baseball on the holodeck. That said, I can't think of too many people I trust when everything's on the line. Glad you are here for this.
Likewise.
Starfleet's assigned the Chimera to peacekeeping duty in Herc space. We'll be working with the Joint Task Force to help the Herc get back on their feet again as well. There's a lot to be done, but we want to help them rejoin the galactic community.
It's a hell of a task.
It is, but my crew is up for the challenge. They're some of Starfleet's best. Take care of yourself out there. Don't be a stranger.
Interesting. There's a message from Garrick on my monitor here. Text only. He wants you to meet him at his old tailor shop. Maybe he's had enough of politics and wants to get back in the fashion game. Probably more profitable in the long run, and easier on the nerves.
Unlikely.
I wouldn't keep him waiting if I were you. He looks for secrets when he gets bored, and trust me, he's not the person you want poking around in your business.
I mean, he's going to find a lot of but, you know, I'll go talk to Garrick. And Kumarke.
The conflict may be over, but there's still plenty of work to be done. The Lukari have offered to help the Herc restore their homeworld's ecosystem, and they've accepted. Dr. Bashir will be working with us on this. It's our goal to ensure that no Herc will go without nourishment again. Some time ago, I hoped for a path to peaceful resolution to our troubles with the Herc. I'm happy to be part of such a solution, at last. Thank you for your efforts in getting us all to this point, to peace.
Look forward to the next time I'll be seeing you, Kumarke. Probably in about a year.
Thank you for meeting me here. Strangely, I find it easy to center myself in this shop. Even relax.
Memories of a simpler time?
Quite so. Cardassia is about to begin a new journey, as it were, and I'll be going along for the ride.
Sounds exciting.
Oh, it is. Cardassia has been offered membership in the Alliance, and we've accepted. Our seat at the table was hard-earned, but we're ready and grateful to join the ongoing efforts. Officer exchange programs have already begun. In fact, I suspect you'll be seeing more Cardassian faces in the future. I hope you show them the same courtesy as you've shown me in our shared adventure.
Yeah, where do you think I got my Cardassian boff from? Where will you be in all this?
Oh, I'll be spending time on Earth, Kronos, and New Romulus. The life of an ambassador is never dull, after all. Someone needs to make sure the Alliance doesn't forget about Cardassia, and I suppose that someone is me. I'll be sure to follow your exploits, of course. They'll be far more entertaining than economic forecasts and state functions, to be sure.
Thanks, I think.
I believe our fearless leaders would like to have a word with you next.
Wonderful. Let's talk to Idiot first.
The Havas Cool sector has been designated as independent from the Dominion, and a Herc neutral zone has been established around it. The Empire will join the Federation and the Republic in keeping the peace between the Dominion and the Herc. We have experience in enforcing a neutral zone, after all.
Yeah, no, definitely something you've got a lot of experience in, buddy.
Martok's use of the beacon and the return of the blade has led to a renewed interest in Kahless throughout the Empire. Some say that Martok stands with honor next to great heroes like T'Kuvma, Voq, L'Rell, and Kang. As if getting along with a stubborn old Targ wasn't difficult enough, His ego will be larger than Mount Hamar at this rate. It is fortunate that Martok has little in the way of political aspirations. Otherwise, I may need to kill him. Again. Ha!
You're dumb.
I have initiated a dialogue between the Dominion and the Karema. In light of recent events, I feel it is imperative that their conflict is resolved peacefully. Whether that results in an independent Karema or not remains to be seen, but I shall endeavor to help them reach a result that is beneficial for both parties.
Will be a challenge?
There have been some significant diplomatic events since your return from the Gamma Quadrant. First, the Dominion is joining the Alliance. Having them as allies will take some getting used to, but the opportunity was too great to ignore. As a condition to joining the Alliance, we requested that the Founders take steps to free the Jem'Hadar from their addiction to Ketracel White. I'm happy to say that Ambassador Odo is inclined to comply with that request. It will make things interesting in the Gamma Quadrant, to be sure. Still, it's been a long time coming. The Jem'Hadar should be able to live their lives freely.
It's actually kind of terrifying to think of, because you're just getting rid of the white, not the violence or the inclination towards violence. So you probably have to do a couple other changes, too. But, you know. Let's wrap this up. I'm really running the clock here. Where you at, Bashir? Bashir! No, I lost you! No! Bashir! Bashir! Oh, there you are.
Things are finally settling down around here. Well, as much as it ever settles down, that is.
You're still in uniform.
Well, there's a lot to be done with the Hurk, and being part of Starfleet will help me make things happen in that regard. When I'm not here, I'll be working with the Lucari and the crew of the USS Aventine to help the Hurk get back on their feet.
Havakul's a long way from home for you.
Indeed, but I happen to be married to the captain of the Aventine, so it won't be, too bad. The kids won't be joining us until Kumake and her team restore Havas Kul to a more habitable state, however. I'm sure we'll see each other again soon. But until then, be safe out there. Doctor's orders.
Odo.
The Dominion is about to go through a number of changes, liberating the Jem'Hadar from the White, phasing out the Founders' benevolent dictatorship, establishing a safe haven for the Hurk. Needless to say, I'm going to be very busy for quite some time.
Yeah, not all those changes are going to be popular either.
No. There are still a number of Founders within the Great Link who will be very resistant to change. I'd like to think they're outnumbered by those willing to take a more democratic approach, however. The last thing anyone needs is a Dominion civil war.
Kidding.
Also, not all of the Hurk were cured. We'll be dealing with rogue swarms for some time. I hope we can call on you in the future if we run into that special kind of trouble you have a talent for dealing with. Oh, and speaking of trouble, you might keep an eye on Quark. That little act of heroism with the Sword of Kahless will make him bolder than ever.
I'll do what I can. Constable. And I'm actually going to go ahead and chop that there because I am currently late. I don't know if I'll be streaming the rest of the day, but I hope I am. I'll update the HUD and the review thing later. I gotta go.